Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbreon, Professor Crumbreon, if you would. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbreon. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome, YouTube. We're back here again. We're going to be taking another look at a game that we had just the other day here. This one was a very interesting one, actually. It was we played our Charizard deck versus, as you can see on the screen, Slaking EX with a Dracloak draw engine. Recently, Slaking got top 30, well, top 40 at least at Stuttgart, I believe. I'm not sure if it was this version of the deck or if it was a different one, but we did see a pretty interesting version of the deck today. That's what we're going to take a look at. So, end up both of us ending up with the mulligan here, so not really too much to talk about here. Pretty decent opening for us. We would like to go first as the Charizard deck here. I explained this in a previous video because we do like to have that evolutionary advantage. So lots of stage 2 decks in the format currently. Having the first turn is pretty helpful in a number of these situations as well. So we end up getting Pidgey down. We have Charmander, we have Psyduck. Psyduck is going to be fodder here. We just want to be able to have a Pokemon that we can TM Evo off of. We know we have Pidgeotto in hand. Less of a chance for us to get Ionod on this turn here, so we get to keep our hand. This is great for us because then we just get to evolve to Pidgeotto, retreat to Psyduck, and we have TM Evo in hand, provided we can find energy. That would be a great turn for us if that was the case. So we're about to see what our opponent's doing here. So we have the Slakoth down, they get the Buddy Poffins down, the Buddy Poffin down, they get the Fan Rotom. So they're setting up for a pretty decent turn here. Get the Boomerang energy down as well. So we get to see the Arven, so we get to keep our hand. We get to prepare a little bit for the following turn. So what I like to do when my opponent is taking time, and this happens in paper a lot too, is I like to plan my turn out. If I know that my hand's not going to be disrupted because they played Arven, we can take our time and we can kind of go through and plan out our next moves. That way, when it's my turn, I know exactly the steps that I want to take. So my opponent's showing me that they have rare candy, so that we know now we're tipped off they have a Slaking in hand. So we don't know exactly what Slaking that is, but we know they have a Slaking in hand. So we did not get an energy off of the top deck here, so we will not be able to TM Turbo Energize, unfortunately. We're going to have to take things a little bit slower this turn, debating on what we want to take here. Obviously, we're going to take Pidgeot out of the deck because we want to thin the deck here. We have Mega Lopunny in hand, so we can instead just go for a slightly slower turn. Even though we're not TM Evoing this turn, it's almost as if we did, because now we put down Buneary, we have Charmeleon down, we had Pidgeotto down, and we have a TM Evolution just in case. But we can go ahead and toss the Charizard, we can toss the TM Evolution. Don't need those anymore because we're going to have a Pidgeot, we're going to have a Charizard, we're going to have a Lopunny in hand for the following turn. So this is effectively as if we had just TM Evo'd on this turn, based on everything that we had in our hand. So very strong turn for us. We get a second Charmander down just in case. We know they're going to have a Slaking this turn. They just need to have a Stadium, or they need to have an energy on Fan Rotom. They can boss up Charmander, or they can boss up Charmeleon if they're swinging Slaking to knock out Charmeleon. We know they're playing Team Rocket's Watchtower to shut off a Slaking ability, so very likely going to be Slaking EX that comes down so they can attack with Slaking. So we're just waiting to see if we're going to be dealing with a knockout this turn. We're going to be dealing with one of our Pokemon taking a fall here. Obviously, it would be fine if it's Psyduck. If they don't have a boss's orders here, they're going to play Hilda, so we know that Psyduck is going to be the one that gets smacked here, if anything, which is pretty good for us too. So right now, we see the Slaking, we see the Jet Energy as well, so potentially here with the rare candy, and the Jet Energy, they could put up the Slaking. Like, we could see that happen, but the Born to Slack ability, we have no EXs in play, so Slaking cannot attack right now. No EXs or V in play. So the Born to Slack ability is preventing Slaking from attacking, at least for this turn. So our opponent's not going to be able to do anything right now, unless they have something that they can power up with right away, and they don't this turn. So this is just a pass turn from the Vigoroth. Unfortunately, because we would have preferred to have Psyduck be taken out this turn, we do see Charizard come out. We do see the Pidgeot come out, so we're going to take the Infernal Rain here. We get the 2 energies on the Charizard, 1 energy on the Buneary. We're going to evolve to Mega Lopunny here. So we know that they have a Jet Energy in hand, so we want to Iono their hand. We don't want them to have free access to the Jet Energy that is currently in their hands. So we're going to go ahead and quick search here, and I think they were going to go and take a Iono out of the deck here, just to refresh our hand. We don't need Counter Catcher this particular moment, and we can put that Jet Energy right back in the deck. Don't need to see that. Get that out of here. So we unfortunately did not get our Jet Energy, so we cannot attack this turn. We didn't get a single energy, so we couldn't retreat the Psyduck, unfortunately. So we just have to settle for taking another card out of the deck here. Could have been Pidgey if Pidgey was in the deck, but we want to thin the deck out. So using Buddy Poffin instead of putting Pidgey down from the hand here is slightly better play for us, because we're taking cards that we don't need out of the deck, but we're leaving ourselves vulnerable if anything happens to Pidgeot. Foreshadowing. A little bit there. So my opponent, at points in time and during this matchup, took an excruciatingly long time to make decisions about things. Initially, I thought they were having the bug with the Dracloak. This Pokemon trading card game live does have an issue if you're using Dracloak sometimes. It will hang on the animation, prevent you from picking cards out of the recon directive until a specific period of time happens. And then it lags things in like Iono. If you play Iono, it will slow down the cards coming out, etc., etc., for your side of the client only. So we see a Dracloak come down. We see a Togepi come down. The reason I'm saying that is because it did seem at some points in time that my opponent was having that glitch, but after they initially took a very, very, very long time on their recon directives, they just decided that they didn't have the glitch anymore, and they were operating just fine later in the game. So it appeared that my opponent just had the Slaking ability, truant, that they were just taking an action every other turn instead. So I'm guessing it's pretty on par for a Slaking deck to have that kind of thing here. So we'll snap ahead to when my opponent decides to take actions here. We'll be right back with you.
A few moments later.
All right, so now my opponent has completed their 2.5 minute long recon directives. We're back into the action here. So still just seeing the Vigoroth on the field here. My opponent has a few different things they can do. Team Rocket's Watchtower does come down, so it does shut off my Pidgeot ability. And we have EX Pokemon in the active anyway, so Slaking in play. So Slaking can attack, but Team Rocket's Watchtower removing Slaking's ability, removing Pidgeot's ability, and so now I am not able to quick search anymore. Thankfully, we have what we need in our hand at this particular moment. We have the boss's orders, which is what we want to have. We want to be able to put damage onto this Slaking here. So unfortunately for us, Vigoroth does only hit 460 damage, does not take out Psyduck. We would have preferred Psyduck be knocked out at this point, but we end up top decking Jet Energy. Thankfully, because we can't Pidgeot search anyways, Jet Energy is going to allow us to get Lopunny into the active. So we're going to instead attach Jet Energy to Pidgeot for the free retreat cost as well, but also because Pidgeot can then start powering up to attack and remove the Team Rocket's Watchtower should we be able to get 2 energy onto Pidgeot at some point during this match. So we can just retreat this Pidgeot here, put Mega Lopunny back into the active here. Mega Lopunny is smacking for a lot more than Charizard right now to put more damage onto Slaking. So we're going to hit for 230 damage here. And that is all we're going to do on this turn. So we don't know what A-Spec my opponent's running. in their deck right now. We have presumptions of what it could be. Some of the Slaking variants are running Grand Tree. It seems like a good number of them right now are playing Maximum Belt. So if my opponent did play Maximum Belt in this list and it was not in their prizes, we could have actually gotten burnt here very, very badly because Mega Lopunny could have been hit for 330 damage this turn. However, if they did, then Charizard would get immensely power boosted here, and we'd be able to swing into Slakings pretty well, no problem. If they had a max belt, we would be able to take out the Slaking that had the max belt on it, not have to worry about it for the rest of the game. So this is not a terrible play here, putting up Lopunny to swing in. We don't exactly have another Charizard ready to go this particular second, especially with Watchtower holding us back a little bit there as well. So got to be careful about the Team Rocket's Watchtower. Got to have our own play around that. So again, my opponent taking an excruciatingly long amount of time here. So they go ahead and bosses orders up our Pidgeot here. They are swinging for exactly 280 damage. A bit of a questionable pick here. I'm guessing they don't like the threat that Blustery Wind could just throw away Watchtower here. So pretty understandable because an attack here from Pidgeot could potentially do 120 and remove the stadium, and then they would not exactly have a very easy way to attack with the Slaking there. So my opponent is going to be leaning on the Togekiss in this matchup as well. So we're going to be promoting Charizard because now Charizard is starting to do a little bit more damage here with the 2 prizes taken. We end up top decking Battle Cage a turn too late, unfortunately, but we do have a Pidgey in hand, so we can at least do a couple of things here. We're going to thin the deck out by playing Dawn. We're going to be taking some cards out of the deck here, and we can get a number of things down. So we can start building towards another Pidgeot. We don't want to put Battle Cage in play until we get Pidgeot out, because if we put down Battle Cage and they put down another stadium, another Team Rocket's Watchtower, it does shut off our Pidgeot. So we want to save Battle Cage until we're ready to use Pidgeot. We go out and grab Fezandipiti, we grab Pidgeotto, we grab Pidgeot. AC takes another knockout on this following turn. We'll have space for Fezandipiti, and we just swing here with Charizard. So again, we don't know if they're running a maximum belt. We don't know exactly what they're doing in their deck. So we're kind of just sitting by the seam of our pants here. We end up getting rare candy off of prizes. Fantastic turn of events for us, because now we immediately get back into Pidgeot if we don't see hand disruption this turn. So it will be interesting to see what the opponent chooses to do here. Lots of different directions that they can go. So if they do have maximum belt, they could just completely nuke our board here by taking out Charizard. Obviously not the greatest situation for me if that was the case. So if they are able to, they could very well swing into a situation where they could get a 4 prize turn, because they do get the Togekiss here. Again, if they have maximum belt, they can swing into Mega Lopunny, potentially on a coin flip win the game. It's a very dicey situation. We have not seen an ace spec on their side of the board yet, so we don't know what we're in for. Brackloak is going to take another excruciating amount of time. They're playing it a lot faster than they were before in terms of that, but there's another Hilda. So we're going to see, we know they have a lot of ignition energy in this deck as well. So we're going to see the ignition energy come out here, and I believe another Slaking. So another Slaking in hand. Huge hand. My opponent's side, they have 12 cards ready to go. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens here. Slaking will be doing something that gets the ignition energy down, so that allows them to use the Great Swing. They discard the ignition energy at the end of the turn anyways, so it satisfies the requirement for that. And we'll be back as soon as my opponent decides to do something.
A few minutes later.
All right, and we're back. And so our opponent finally, after taking another minute and a half to decide, they end up swinging into Charizard for 280 damage. So big damage coming down to Charizard. This actually was a big mistake. This was a mistake play for me, attaching the maximum belt to Lopunny. It could have burnt me at the end of the game, so keep an eye out for that, and you'll see exactly why that was a very bad decision to attach the maximum belt to Lopunny on this turn. So Charizard sitting at a damage of 280 damage. We don't exactly want to retreat the energy off of Charizard because it could still be useful as an attacker. So we're just going to jet energy Mega Lopunny back up here and hit it with a Gale Thrust for 280 damage. So again, the extra 50 damage is not really doing anything to Slaking. It's not really moving the needle any which way here, right? We're not doing anything. So if we hold on to the maximum belt, we have a potential play later on where Charizard could hit for 380 damage. Or if we're down to 2 prizes, 350 damage. Both of those numbers are over Slaking's HP, so we could easily one-shot a Slaking if they're down to 1 or 2 prizes. The problem is that we've attached the maximum belt to Mega Lopunny far too early. I got too excited to see it, so bit of a rookie mistake, admittedly. Don't attach things until you absolutely need to. There's nothing in their deck that would force us to remove it or whatever else. It's not a great time for us to have used that. Bit of a mistake there. We might get punished for it. And again, we'll be back as soon as our opponent decides to do something.
5 minutes later.
All right, and we're back finally after my opponent spent another minute and a half deciding what to do. They end up jetting up the Fan Rotom, retreating the Slaking to the bench here. The plan from my opponent now is actually a pretty astute one, despite my opponent's extreme degree of clock differential. Fan Rotom is going to be attacking into Mega Lopunny for 70 damage, softening it up, right? Because if they can attack with Slaking the following turn, if they flip heads, they take 4 prizes, Mega Lopunny gets knocked out, and the game is over. So this is putting me in a bit of a pickle situation right now because we need to make a move. We need to do something here to avoid losing the game to just having them having boss's orders here. Taking out our Lopunny. So we cannot leave Lopunny in the attack, or we can't leave Lopunny in the active position here. We have to remove Mega Lopunny and not attack with it this turn. So this is a very smart move here, attacking with Fan Rotom. This Slaking will never see the light of day. They're going to be using the EX, obviously, here. Tool Scrap are not really doing much in this matchup right now, as they don't have any tools in play. So we're going to retreat off the fire energy here. Important to keep recycling the fire energies as much as possible. So we want to retreat the Mega Lopunny here, take the fire energy off of it, free it up from that, so that when we do eventually get another Charizard out here, we can Super Rod energies back into the deck as well, and recycle the Charizards as we go along. So we're going to see Charizard go up here. We're going to grab a boss's orders to... because we are at even prizes, Counter Catcher will not do. So it'll have to be boss's orders to take out the Slaking on this turn. So not quite sure what they were going to be doing here. So we were just we didn't want to take a single prize here either. We wanted to go for the 2 prizer to keep on pace for the prize matchup here. We pull up their Slaking EX. We know that they have another Slaking EX and they have a regular Slaking in hand. So it'll be interesting to see what their plan is for the following turn. Likely just be a Rotom KO here. So we take the knockout on Slaking. It is going to be the 2 prizes. Boop, boop. And then we're going to see them promote Rotom here and then swing into Charizard. So this could have been, again, a very dangerous position for us if they had a position to get the Slaking EX attacking Mega Lopunny with anything at all. If they had boss's orders in hand and they have a pretty big hand to do, they could have won the game on this turn. So bit of a dicey situation for us. We're giving them an easier target to go after in Charizard. If Charizard does get knocked out and Togekiss flips heads, it's not game over. That is the important part for us here. So we do see a rare candy come down. The difference is that if they rare candy the Slaking, they can't boss, and they can't boss and Hilda in the same turn. So they're gonna have to have the energy to attack with Slaking. And we'll be back as soon as our opponent decides to do something once again.
1 hour later.
All right, and after a couple of 20-second recon directives, we see Hilda being played, so no boss's orders. No boss's orders is coming down this turn, so boss's orders will be coming down potentially on the following turn. So we see the acceleration energy in hand, or the ignition energy in hand. So now we know on this turn, because they're not going to be attacking with Slaking, they don't want to waste it on the Charizard. They want to go in for the Mega Lopunny, and they want to go in for the final kill next turn. They want to go after Pidgeot. They want to go after Mega Lopunny. So they're going to take a knockout here on Charizard. We know our play now is no matter what happens here on this coin flip, we have to get Iono. They do end up taking a heads on the Togekiss. They take 3 prizes. They have to knock out a single Pokemon now, unfortunately for us. Fortunately for us, we have Super Rod in hand, so we can get the Charizard back in the deck. We have Fezandipiti, so we have a lot of options on what we can do here to get what we need. So we need to do a lot here. We cannot play a supporter. We do need to play Iono. So this is a very dicey situation for us right now. The Charizard's going to go back in. I do believe we had the Charizard anyways, so Charizard 2 energy is going back in. We put the Fezandipiti down. We're going to see what we can get off of Fezandipiti here. Part of the cards, what can we get? We get Counter Catcher, which is exactly what we needed. We have Rare Candy in hand, which is also something we needed. So all 3 cards, top deck, boom, is exactly what we needed off of this situation. We needed Rare Candy, we needed a Ultra Ball, we needed Counter Catcher, and we needed something here. We get everything we need. We get everything we need. So brilliant 3-card combination here off of the Fezandipiti. Gets us the Charizard, gets us the Counter Catcher. The problem is because we had the Mega Lopunny with the Maximum Belt. Because we have the Mega Lopunny have the Maximum Belt, we don't win the game on this turn. We do have the Iono in hand, which is another card we got off the Fezandipiti that we needed. And so we had the Pidgeot Surge. We had the Pidgeot Surge to grab whatever we wanted to at that point in time. And then we, unfortunately, couldn't go and get Maximum Belt. But we just have to hope that off the 1 card, they can't get their combo here. This quick search could have been for Max Belt. Unfortunately, it's not, because Max Belt's already attached. So we're sitting here on the seam of our pants right now. We could have had the game finished, because we're swinging for 330, which is 10 damage less than what Slaking has for HP. So we have to hope and pray that in this 1 card, well, they have 1 card, they get 1 off the draw, and they get 2 cards off of Recon Directive. They get to see 5 cards in total here. So we have to hope that in a 5-card combination, they can't get the pieces together. They need to get Maximum Belt. If they get Maximum Belt and Ignition Energy, which they still have 1 left, they get Max Belt Ignition, they win the game. If they get Ignition Energy in any way to Gust, they win the game. So we just have to hope and pray, you know, hope and pray that that they don't get there. We don't see the death combination here. So 3 minutes and 50 seconds left for my opponent. That's a massive clock differential. You'll see we've sped through this match a couple of times. They get the Watchtower, which, I mean, at this point it doesn't matter, because Watchtower, the game is either won or lost on this turn. They have Hilda, which means they have the energy in hand. And if they have Maximum Belt in their hand, then the game is over. We still have not seen what their ace spec is. They've seen 5 cards now. What exactly are we dealing with? Do they have the knockout? Do they have the knockout on Charizard? Can they take the game? Maximum Belt will swing for exactly 330 damage. Hold your breath, folks. And they did not get it. They did not get the Maximum Belt. It is over. Hallelujah. Burning Darkness for a second 330. Again, we could have avoided this entire situation if we just had used our Maximum Belt correctly. And huge error from me placing it on Mega Lopunny immediately. Did not need to do that. And it could have cost me that game if my opponent had played Maximum Belt, which this number of the lists of the Slaking do run Maximum Belt. So very high chance that they had it. They just couldn't find it. So if you like this kind of content, if you enjoy this deck, please like and subscribe, and we'll be back in the next one.